Welcome back. We are working on the Budget Drift Missile Mustang. We're going to see how far $500 takes on this $800 Drift Stang. So today, off the last episode, we are going to be working on the cooling system. Also, a new discovery that I found. It's going to be very hard to see, but the O-ring inside of this cap is no longer good. So we're going to head out to get a new thermostat, get some extra coolant, and then I'll get a reservoir cap, because we're going to bleed the system. The temp gauge still did not show up, so I have another one hopefully going to arrive tomorrow. But we're going to use the one we have in there for now just to bleed the system. And I know the gauge might not work, but we're going to see what the temp gets to on that gauge. We're also going to test the wiring that we did while I was working underneath the car. Clement was getting the wiring for the new gauge ready, which will also work on the gauge we have in there, so we're going to test that as well. So we're going to head out to the local auto parts store, grab all the stuff we need, and I'll catch you when we get back. All right, now that we're back, got the coolant somewhat ready. Very extremely dirty. We got to flush that out. One thing that we noticed, as you can see, it is dirty in there, but there is no thermostat. Very happy I decided to check that. So I think the theme of this car is check it to see if it has it, because it seems like right now we're missing a lot, or the stuff that's in there is just bad. So we're going to put the thermostat in it with the new seal and then start burping it here shortly. So that's where we're kind of at, is make sure that it has it, because right now it seems like this car's just missing a bunch. So we'll get the thermostat in there and we'll continue from there. All right, he's about to start it up. We already did some. We had to remove some coolant, got it warm-ish. A lot of smoke from the brake clean and all the oil that we got cleaned off. But he's going to show you this thing starts up pretty good once he figures out how to turn the car on. Here we go. Starts up pretty good. So we're just going to get all this air out and then we'll be good. Well, it took all of that immediately, so add some more water to it. Yep, it's taking a lot. We have not fixed the high idle yet. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it doesn't. It is what it is. We got enough water in there now, and now we just wait. The heat's already on full blast, so we're gonna be here for the next 10-15 minutes is bleeding it out. So far for an $800 car, I'll throw some screen grabs later in the video if I get to that point. We think this is a Cobra MAF, and it has purple injectors, which, if you look online, purple injectors are for 24 pounds. I don't know what the CC rate is, like 500 something. So we think it's tuned. We think it has a Cobra MAF, which you need to run the 24-pound injectors. So this could be a tuned motor, and it has aftermarket fuel rails as well. So for 800 bucks so far, it's been really good. We really hope we just make it to not overheat. The top radiator hose now has no pressure and it's getting warm. The coolant is starting to burp. We got both fans running. We don't know how hot it is, because the gauge that we have in there is bad. That's why we ordered the new one. But it's sitting just below 210. But the gauge also sits at 150 cold. So if you do the math, it's probably like 170-ish. So it seems like it's doing really good. The high idle's annoying, but right now it's helping us because it keeps the RPMs up. So we don't have to sit in there and build heat in the motor. And the heater is working great. So far this is going decently well. Knock on wood, hopefully it stays that way. So we'll catch with you once we're fully done. So I'm gonna have them rev it up and see if a bunch of pressure comes out of the coolant, like a bunch of air. See if there's any stuck air and see if we have any other issues. So it sounds pretty good, and just a little bit came up from pressure moving from the water pump pushing more. I didn't see any major like a geyser basically, like the head gasket problem. I'm super happy with that. We'll do it one more time. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So we're gonna continue and just let this thing burp all the way out. What a wild turn of events. So we first bought the car and we first started looking at it with that radiator hose being rock hard, not running for like 30 something hours. We went, probably head gasket or head gasket related to cause pressure. Now we went from that to realizing there's no thermostat, put the thermostat in, no coolant pressure at all, runs great. Still, we're cooling it down, make sure there's no big air pockets that come out. We'll do it all over again just to make sure. Now we went from that to now we think that it is tuned. The reason I say that, it has the stock style mass airflow sensor here. Has a square mass airflow sensor with this adapter in it right here. And if you come on this side where the light is better and easier to see, you can see it has purple injectors. And the reason why purple injectors is pretty cool is that if you come over here and look, the square MAF is a Cobra MAF or a 3-valve to 2009 to 2010 MAF, which is really cool because that allows, obviously bigger MAF allows more air to be read. Stock injectors for these cars look like this. They're fat, they're stubby. That's what they look like. If you look here, this says 09 to 2010 3-valve purple injectors, which are 24-pound injectors from factory. Scroll over for 5.0s, the old school 5.0s, the 302s, and 4.6 Ford Racing 24-pound injectors, purple. Brand new 24-pound injectors with fuel adapters, which it's hard to see, but we have those exact clips, are 24-pound injectors. The only way you put that MAF in this car and those injectors, from my knowledge, it would have to be some sort of tune. You would have to tell the ECU, hey, we have a bigger MAF and we have more fuel for a bigger pulse width to push the fuel out. So we might have went from an $800 beater that might have a blown head gasket to an $800 beater that might be a tuned 4.6. So what a turn of events that was, huh?
Yeah.
And the thing runs good, even though it does idle at 2000ish, which we will get to and see what's wrong. Fires up every time, runs good. Now it doesn't overheat. When we rev it, it revs good. It revs quick, like it has a lightened flywheel. Instead of most old V8s, if you guys drive these things, it goes, vroom, then comes down. This thing is, whoom, whoom. It's ready to go. So we're going to keep continuing bleeding this coolant system and make sure that we're good. And then hopefully by tomorrow, we will get the new coolant temp sensor mounted up where I'm going to show you where we want to mount it up. At least we know the exact temp this thing is at versus just hoping. But it's definitely not overheating, which is fantastic. So we're going to keep continuing starting this thing up and make sure all the air's out of it. Which kind of sucks because we're going to bleed this cooling system if we figure out this car is going to be worth getting to the track and it's going to be safe, because the coolant that's in there is bad. It's very dirty. But at least now we know we can run, start, and drive it around when we're doing testing without the risk of it overheating badly. So that's awesome. So on the theme of the car that just keeps giving, we thought, hey, we never opened up the trunk. What we have to do is have someone lift up on it, and we have to hit the emergency button inside of the glove box. But here's some things that we found. We found the original cluster, an oil pan. There is some Pennzoil that... I believe there's still oil in it, so at least this thing had decent oil put in it at some point. Oh, that one's empty. There's a bag. Looks like we have a pretty clean OEM corner light. Yeah, so we have a corner light, so that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we have. Looks like I saw some sort of metal aftermarket fuel pressure regulator with an AN line on it. We have some taillights that are cracked bad and spray painted white, which might actually look better on this car if we don't spray paint that white. I would assume that's the other one. We have some old plug wires. So something heavy in here. We got, it's hard to do with one hand, an ignition module or ignition coil, some AN lines, and some plug wires in the trunk. Well,
dude, you forgot about the best part. Look at this, dude.
And typical 16-year-old with a manual Mustang items. So for the theme that keeps on giving back, I'm gonna take it. So that's pretty good. I think that's where we're gonna end the video. This thing's pretty much bled on coolant. So we're pretty much good there. We're just gonna wait for the temp sensor from now on. Once the temp sensor gets in, we'll throw that in, and then in the next video, we're gonna tackle all the wiring. Get the coolant gauge set up, fix all the wiring in here, and then try to get the dash to work. Plus, we're gonna reroute the wiring and redo for the fan as well with the newer relay. We'll show you where we're gonna mount that up. So I appreciate you guys watching this time. And it looks like someone tried to get lucky, but did not win the $6,000. So maybe we will next time. So I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you later. Peace.